Hello, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for episode 8 of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, hosted by Variant Roles. I'm Eugenio Vargas. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands, from the actual play podcast, The Last Refuge. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's go around and introduce the rest of the winter crew and our very special guest who's filling in for one of our members who's missing today. Why don't we start with Alex? How you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. My name is... I didn't know.
Totally ready for this, clearly.
Totally ready. My name is Alexander Gaston. You can call me Alex. I use she, her pronouns, as does my lovely character, my silver-skinned tiefling rogue, Silme. And she is ready for action tonight.
That makes me so nervous. But great, I can't wait. Max, how are you doing this week?
Well, I'm not as thick as a drunk I am, but I'm Max. I use he, him pronouns. I play the gender tsunami Eladrin Theron, who is the party healer and general caster.
Great.
And they use they, them pronouns or she, depending on the current season.
I love it. All right. Steven.
Hi. Well, I'm doing fantastic. I play Rowan Tosscobble Porridgepot. There's a hyphen between Tosscobble and Porridgepot. He is a halfling bard / warlock, although he really prefers the word hin. And both of our pronouns are he, him.
8 episodes in. Still delights me every time.
Yes.
Allison. Hi.
Hi, my name's Allison. I play Annabelle Rothkama, the half-orc barbarian, she, her pronouns for both me and my character. I'm the one who doesn't get to fight.
The barbarian who missed the whole fight.
Yeah,
womp womp. It's true. Womp womp. And last but most certainly not least, a very special guest for this evening, Jonathan, also known as Rocky, our Goliath monk, can't make it tonight. So Dan, hi. Thanks for joining us. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So I'm Dan Dillon, he, him. And do you want me to say who I'm playing now, or shall we wait and reveal it in play? Fair enough.
Good call. We'll find that out momentarily. But quickly, a little recap of last week and sort of what we do here. We're 8 episodes in. I imagine that if you're watching us now, you have probably watched some of these other episodes from the past. But just in case, we are one team of 4 in a 4-stream mega stream that is doing Waterdeep Dragon Heist, the second newest published adventure from Wizards of the Coast. Each team is doing a different season in Water Heist and running through the adventure on their own, but all of the different adventures and teams are somehow connected to each other, as we've been slowly sort of sussing out as the weeks have gone on. For our crew, last week, our friends continued their investigation into the Nimblewright construct that caused a fireball outside of their new place of business, the Fighting Spirit. Their hunt led them to Gralhund Villa, a manse owned by a noble family in the North Ward of Waterdeep. The plan was supposed to be to stake the place out and hope to catch sight of the offending Nimblewright at some point. But somebody got bored and decided that it would be a good idea to break into the house and just have a look around. Silme. She walked in on the tail end of a battle between the house staff and some apparent members of the Zentarum. All hell broke loose at that point, with other party members diving into windows and Rowan running to retrieve the city watch and Annie, our poor barbarian who missed the whole fight. Now the watch has arrived and stormed the villa. Let's find out what happens. So, where are all of you all at this point? I know Rocky was left to his own devices on the first floor of the house, dealing with a couple of Zents who had just slaughtered some house guards. Sil, you are upstairs, and you just helped some of the house guard finish off some Zentarum thugs. And somebody's up there with you, aren't they?
Theron.
Is it Theron?
No. I'm at the bottom of the stairs, but I've got my bow but no arrow trained on the guards that are around her.
I think I might be by myself.
No. I have my notes. Theron goes upstairs to find Sil and guards turn on them.
Oh, okay. So
Well,
that's how
then
we left it.
Nope.
I love a barbarian that takes notes.
My type of
Great. All right, so the two of you are up there. I think Annie and Rowan unless you tell me otherwise, I think you're with Sergeant Crowley, who sort of leads the storming of the Growlhund gates. And so you all have just sort of bust in to the main entrance foyer on the ground floor at this point. You all will have to forgive me playing and watching. I haven't stopped coughing in 6 days, so I will try not to be too loud with the cough drops and try to clear my throat while I'm on mute. All right. So, Syl and Theron, let's go with you first really quickly. So these guards sort of don't know what's going on. They saw you kind of help them with the thugs, Syl, but they don't know who you are. You came in from the master bedroom, which means you had to have broken in through the balcony. So, like, they're not super trusting at this minute, but they're also not firing on you quite yet. So, what are you two doing?
I'm going to still keep both the scimitars out just in case, but like lower them so that I don't look like I'm about to like, so lower them and go, oh my God, I heard the screaming. Is everyone okay?
Really, really good. Theron, how about you?
I think that one's still alive. And I'm going to shoot another arrow light at one of the Zents on the ground. Yeah.
Okay, great. I don't need a roll. That's fine. He's not still alive, so I'm not worried about it. The house guards, the couple of house guards that are left up there sort of flinch as you fire the bow, because obviously they thought you were some sort of crazy person holding a bow and no arrow. And when you all of a sudden sort of whisper something and let fly the bow, and a shot of silvery light comes flying out of it, that certainly startles them a little bit. One of them, who seems to be probably not like a captain or anything, but at least seems to be sort of in charge of the three of them that are up on this landing, sort of nods and says, well, you better come downstairs with us. We'll sort this out later, but at least I believe that you aren't going to try and kill us at this moment. And they sort of gesture for you all to take the lead down the stairs. They don't really want you at their backs.
Okay. I will sheath one scimitar.
I'll stick out an elbow for Syl to take.
I will gladly take it.
And we press down the stairs.
Excellent. All right. So downstairs, Rowan and Annie, you all come in with Sergeant Crowley into you've broken through the gates into the front yard, which is the direction that they came, and you've come into the massive great hall where as you sort of walk in, you watch. I just remember how we ended last week. So as you walk in, you watch. You can just catch sight of Rocky releasing the neck of the final Zentarum, who then slumps to the ground dead. And he sort of looks up to you three and the rest of the watch that are walking in, and just sort of has a very blank look on his face, and doesn't say anything, just sort of puts his hands to his sides and steps away from the body at his feet.
Rocky, what did... I'll like run over to the body and see if he is still dead, and maybe try to heal him in case he isn't.
You can make me a wisdom medicine check.
Okay. 17.
No, he did.
Okay.
Rocky, as you sort of address him and are like, what, he just sort of like, again, still very vacant eyes, but he just sort of slowly shakes his head.
Okay, well, obviously this was self-defense.
Crowley steps forward and is like, we'll see. But he gives some quick orders to the rest of the guards to sort of fan out and secure the remainder of the villa. And that includes a couple of them run into you, Theron and Syl, coming downstairs with the other guards. Very quickly, though, it becomes clear that there were maybe a couple of Zents left alive at this point, but most of the fighting had died down. The watch is there's plenty of them. So they're able to sort of get a hold of the situation very quickly. And Crowley doesn't look super pleased about much of anything, but he gestures to the five of you and sort of nods for you all to go out into the yard with him for a moment while his men finish sort of clearing up and securing whatever needs to be secured inside, whoever needs to be secured.
Can I get a good grasp of this situation, maybe with investigation, just to see if I can have an idea of how this went down?
Yeah, actually, I'll buy that. Intelligence investigation, sure.
Okay, I get a 14.
Yeah, so it seems like as you catch glimpses of some of the other guards, the house guards, as they're brought into the main hall by various watchmen, you hear bits and pieces of conversation and you're able to sort of piece together a few things. Seems like the Zents had actually taken the household hostage for you're not really sure how long. And there are various stories that you just hear bits and pieces of about what happened to like finally cause the flashpoint, right? Somebody says that one of the guards decided to try and break free. One of them says that Lord Gralhund was the one who like led the revolution to free the household. But clearly something happened that finally set off, probably an inevitable violent conflict.
Okay.
So the five of you and Sergeant Crowley head outside, and a light snow has begun to sort of fall outside, and it's pretty chilly. And he looks at the five of you, and he crosses his arms, and he sort of shakes his head slowly, and he says, "What did I say?"
Okay, this looks a lot worse than what it actually is.
I'm not sure that's true.
It started as us just looking into things, and things just sort of spiraled out of control, and we wanted to collect information before we brought it to you. And then you hear things and you need to act. I mean, I can't say as to what actually went on in there, but I know that when I went to you was immediately the moment when we thought that things were necessary. And needed to bring in people who could take care of the situation.
He says, apparently, I wasn't clear enough before. I appreciate you coming to get me, but let me be very clear this time. The Watch is charged with protecting this city. You are not the Watch. Now, if I'd gotten here and none of you were inside the house, this wouldn't have been an issue. But as it stands, we arrived, and at least 3 of your party had already been inside the house. One of them was standing over a dead body of their own making. So here's what's going to happen.
You know what? No. If we had not gone into the house, you would have never known anything was going to happen in the first place. You would have still been in your office, sitting down, looking into dead-end leads while people were captured. I don't know. All I know is that we had something to do. We had time. We looked into it. And right now, we are the heroes. You would have never found this out if you hadn't been here.
If I hadn't gone in, there would be 2 more dead servants than there already are. Everyone in there we found was dead. 2 of them, Rocky and I managed to save. They would have been dead if we'd waited for you.
Sil, why don't you make me a... It's not quite persuasion. I don't know. You can choose charisma persuasion or charisma intimidation. You can do it with advantage. Theron's helping you out.
I will go
terrible,
with persuasion.
Right?
24.
All right. He sort of sighs and he says, "Thank you.
You're welcome.
But stop playing at being watchmen. Watch people."
Who watches the Watchmen?
Look. Get out. He says, this is what's going to happen right now. My men are going to complete this investigation here at the villa. You 5 are going to go back to the Fighting Spirit, and you're going to wait for me to arrive. When I get there, after having talked to Lord and Lady Gralhund, assuming that there are no charges against you of murdering a noble or something equally heinous that would require me, and he holds his hand up because he sees you all, and by you all I mean Syl, that would require me to bring this to the attention of a magistrate. Assuming that that is not the case, I will debrief you on the situation, and we will move on as if this was a good Samaritan act by concerned members of the community and no other details need be divulged to the public. Is that understood?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Sure.
Wait for me at the Fighting Spirit. I'll be there as soon as we've completed the investigation here.
Okay.
I can't believe you're grounding us.
Dad.
House arrest.
Are we walking away yet?
When he turns around, can I stick my tongue out?
Yes.
I'm gonna flick his ear with a mage hand again.
Oh, shit.
He didn't notice it was you last time, did he?
No.
No.
It was
No, only
Barnabas.
Barnabas.
did though, yeah.
Yeah, he
All
thought
right.
it was funny.
He swats at it, thinking it's a fly in the snow, whatever. All right.
Those Waterdeep flies are dangerous.
So do you all, yeah, right. Do you all head back to the Fighting Spirit then?
Yeah.
As we go, I say, if we just broken in sooner, a lot less people would have been killed.
That's probably true.
Also, can we say we took our time getting back to
I'm going clothes shopping.
Not.
I'm sorry. I'm not going straight home. I'm going clothes shopping.
It's the middle of the night.
I'm gonna go break
Is
into.
there a Walmart?
No.
So what exactly happened in there?
Yeah, what did exactly happen in there? Because I distinctly remember that we were going to wait until nightfall, and you don't go into a house where you suspect things are happening without all of your party members. And I looked straight at Syl, because it was probably her, because she gets into trouble.
I don't know what would make you think that.
Honey, I couldn't. Listen, it was taking forever. I wanted to get.
No, we all could have gotten arrested because of your mistake. If you just waited or sent word, then we all could have gone in and gotten out quicker. I can't. I wasn't even there to protect any of you.
Or kill
I
things.
can't even. And Annie walks off.
Honey.
It's a huff. Nope, she's walking off.
Shit.
There were lots of dead people in there who weren't warriors.
There's a lot of blood in there.
There were
There's a massacre.
servants.
She's
There
out
was
of
a
earshot now.
I must burn to Syl and Rowan.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, she's walking away.
Yeah.
Please go on. She just needs some time to herself, and I'm sure we'll sort all of this out and have a chance to really talk it over.
I have a feeling she's going to punch me in the morning.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to like me. Winter is coming.
I'm so sorry. God, where's Rocky?
Oh, he's with you.
Oh, sorry.
He's being very
He's so quiet. Usually he would.
he's being very
Quiet like a
he's being
mountain.
very quiet. He saw some shit. All right, so you all get back to the Fighting Spirit and sort of hang around there. Annie, I assume you're sort of sitting apart from the group.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's a couple of uncomfortable, unfortunate hours. But eventually Sergeant Crowley does sort of come back. And he asks you all some questions about what you saw. He tells you that that some of the house guard sort of spoke for you all and said that you didn't attack anyone of the household. And so that was enough for the Growlhuns to not want to press any sort of charges. So for the moment, you all are sort of fortunately not in trouble with the law. But he does ask you questions about what you saw in there and tries to sort of use your last bits of information to piece together sort of the end of the evening. And he does tell you all a little bit about what happened as well, sort of as a courtesy, because he's afraid that you all will try and go find out on your own if he doesn't tell you. So he tells you that they searched the manor and they found Lord Growlhund unconscious. Apparently, it was but alive. He was apparently the one who had led the revolt against the Zentarum agents that had been holding them hostage. They also found Lady Growlhund. She was sort of in shock, sort of hiding in a closet near her chambers. Apparently, the remainder of the Zents were captured, except for their leader, who they got a name for because apparently some of the other Zentarum sort of rolled over on him. But this particular Zent named Erstil Floxen got away. And the Watch is planning on searching for him, so you all don't have to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What about the Nimblewright, says Drunk Theron.
Really good. He is aware of the Nimblewright because I think you all brought him up to speed on that, right?
I think I mentioned it really rapid fire, so he probably asked about it.
I didn't say
Yeah, he did. He did. There was no sign of a Nimblewright. He did ask Lord and Lady Growlhund about it. Apparently, the construct was delivered to them at the villa a few 10 days earlier, and the family took it in, and now they realize that it was probably a Zentarum spy. But they didn't know that at the time. And Lady Growlhund did mention that the construct had stolen her necklace of fireballs, which of course you all had an idea of already. But yeah, so that's the information that he's able to give you all, and he just he's torn because Syl made an impression. He's grateful that you all were able to keep Lord and Lady Growlhund in particular from being harmed, but he really doesn't like independent contractors on his streets.
Well, just as a general proposal, since obviously we have been helping a great deal and it's causing you a lot of frustration for us to be sticking our noses in this stuff, and it to reflect badly on you, what if you bring us in some sort of official capacity, even as just kind of a tangential agency, and that way you're kind of calling the shots, you're providing some oversight, and you get all the credit in case we continue to be wildly successful.
Make a charisma persuasion, Rowan.
The three of us are gray hands. So, no.
Oh,
I'm really good at that. Oh, I have inspiration.
You do?
Okay, so that's a 14.
Okay, he doesn't like the idea, but again, like with Syl, he sees perhaps possible value. So he sort of tells you that he can't make that decision unilaterally. He'll have to talk to some folks, but it's a possibility. But until he comes back with official word about that, please just run your bar / smithy /
school,
fighting school for orphans and disadvantaged.
Yeah, it's a big building.
/ amazing. Syl is also half drunk at this point.
Great. Okay. Anything else from him that you all want to chat about? He looks pretty eager to be out of there, but
your hair looks so pretty.
That's definitely his cue to leave. All right. Great. Okay. So, the next, anything else for this evening that you all need to deal with amongst each other?
T and I are just gonna get real drunk.
Yeah. Okay.
Syl, do you have any leather pants?
Almost certainly.
What color do you want?
I don't know. Black, brown will do. Just lots of chains and belts on them, please.
Oh, sure.
Oh, zippers?
Yeah, zippers.
Okay. Don't get caught in them. And then they're in my room. Come with me.
I'm gonna. I'll turn in. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Okay.
I retrieve the pants and I go to bed.
Fantastic. So the next day, sort of passes. The morning passes uneventfully. About midday, and Theron, I know that you have some things to tell us, I'm sure. But before we get to that, about midday, Rainier Neverwinter, Never Ember, his names. I'll never forgive whoever did that. Rainier shows up, and Annie, I don't know if you updated everybody on your conversation with him.
No, she was too mad during the night, so she has not yet done that. She's going to do it in the morning when everybody's sobered up.
Yeah, Rocky didn't come in this morning. He sent a message saying that he was feeling a little under the weather, and that's all he said. He also said, "Don't worry, don't come check on me. I'm fine. I'll be back soon." So Annie, you can have sort of updated them on Rainier's visit yesterday now that you've cooled off a little bit. And he shows up midday and sort of sees the four of you and nods that he's glad that you're okay, and sort of asks Annie how things went last night.
Yeah, they went fine, didn't they, gang? And she's looking mainly at Syl.
Don't talk so loud.
It all turned out pretty okay. I mean, it maybe could have been better, but it also could have been a lot worse.
He chuckles and he says, "That's the sort of answer I'm coming to expect and love from you, Rowan." He says, "Well, if you don't mind, perhaps we might step into the library upstairs and have a quick word about some of the information that I told you I would try to gather for you, Annie."
Sounds like a plan. Let's go, guys.
Okay.
Theron's not there.
Is Reggie?
Great. Reggie is back at work that day. Yes.
Hi, Reggie.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
How's everybody?
I was about to say.
Did you?
Hi. How's it going?
So excited! Oh my god! I'm gonna need a second. I was like, I could cry. I'm so happy.
It's going pretty well.
I'm happy to see you too, Syl.
Hey, how you feeling?
I'm good. You know, well done, but I'm all right now.
Oh, well done.
He kind of stretches his shoulder and winces a little bit. Lot better. You know, bored, so glad to be back here. How are you guys? How's things?
You know, I almost got arrested. The usual.
Cops were here, so
you know.
How was that?
It went well. We're not in shackles.
Good.
And we still have a bar.
Great.
So, well, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy you're feeling better.
Yeah, same. You know, glad I'm not dead. Was maybe close, but so what's up with the exploding gnomes and what have you?
Oh, we're trying to figure that out. Although we're not trying to figure it out too much, because we got in trouble for it last time.
Yeah.
So, well, we're about to go upstairs. If you want, why don't you bring a couple rounds up here in a second?
Oh, sure. I got some new stuff. You want to try it?
Absolutely.
Good. So he wanders into the back and goes to find the keg that he's had aging somewhere.
Obviously.
I'm the happiest person right now. I was wondering why. I was like, why is Eugenio looking at me like
that? So you all head upstairs as Reggie has gone to procure his special brew. And Rainier sort of says, should we wait for your new friend before? Who is that?
It's Reggie.
He's an employee of ours, and also he really helped us in finding you, actually.
Oh, well, I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself earlier. Why don't we wait on him? I feel I owe him my thanks, and perhaps he deserves to be a part of the information that I'm going to give you all as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, let's just tell everyone all the secrets that we have. Why don't we?
Well, I mean, we haven't mentioned like the Nimblewright or the Nimblewright detector yet.
Yeah, but you just did.
Now we have.
I guess I just did.
Just did, Rowan.
Rowan, we're gonna have to have a talk later.
Okay.
Again.
Again.
Where's Theron? Where's Theron?
Where is Theron? Theron wasn't there. Were they?
Was the
T?
It's a big house. We just talked about this.
Do you want to go wake him up?
Annie goes to Darren's room and knocks on the door. Darren!
I was going to use thaumaturgy to do it.
Because a vision softly creeping. Who's there? Huh?
It's Annie, Darren. You all right?
I got the worst hangover.
Yeah, you drank a lot last night after doing something really stupid. Did another stupid thing.
You only think I'm stupid because you didn't get to be a part of it. Give me a moment. Let me put my pants on.
What?
So Theron opens the door, and it's a new Theron once again. Just pale, practically white skin, eyes, no irises or anything, just pure blue, sparkling, glittery. Hair black, standing straight up with white streaks, kind of Bride of Frankenstein style. Very, very masculine chested, but scrawny, kind of like your 80s English punk rocker.
It sounds like NSYNC.
Morning.
Great.
Morning. What's
Yeah, morning. Oh gosh, okay. I remember the joke. I need to remember the joke. It's fine. Darren, we're meeting in the library to talk about important things.
If I must, okay.
All right, come
Fantastic.
Do I gotta put a shirt on?
Oh, God.
on, please.
Fine. I go and I get the robes that I spent all night kind of cutting the sleeves off of, so it's more like a sleeveless bathrobe.
That's not quite. Whatever. Okay.
Oh,
Excellent. All right, so the two of you get back to the library just as Reggie has arrived with his special brew. You want to tell us about this special brew, Reg?
Sure. So, he's got a kind of a somewhere between a pony keg and an actual keg, so he can actually carry it, but he is struggling under it a little bit. So he just kind of plops it down in the room where you're meeting, and he has like a length of cord with a bunch of mugs strung on it, and just kind of bashes a tap into the keg and starts filling mugs and just handing them out assembly line style.
Thug life.
I love it.
Here, give us a try. This has been well, never mind where it's been. I didn't exactly have a place to brew it, but let's not worry about that now.
Okay.
It's so it's pretty strong stuff. It's a banana whiskey.
That's delightful.
It's not.
I'd
It's
say
not.
it's
It's not potato juice.
no.
We sell
But
potato
it doesn't
juice.
taste like whiskey. It tastes like bananas.
Right?
It's always good to have a bit of potassium after a night of drinking, right?
Hey, who are
who
you?
the fuck
Wait,
are you?
you're Theron.
Yeah,
think.
that's
Wait, those are my
Yeah.
pants.
Darren.
Yeah,
it's
I
like a
don't think
ballroom.
I don't think Reggie has experienced the changing Theron because I don't think Reggie remembers original Theron.
So he kind of stops, takes a long drink, and then just sort of nods, like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah.
It's elves, wolf boy. You learn it. Get used to it. It happens.
I don't care. Here you go. And he passes.
Yeah, potassium, great. Just thing to give it to a hungover person.
Oh, wait, stop. Come here. You feeling a little delicate?
I'm an elf, of course.
Right. So he reaches into a pouch and he pulls out a vial and pops it and pours it into the whiskey, and then digs into another pouch and drops some dried herbs in and just kind of places his hand over the top and shakes it. All right, drink that.
All right, cool. Okay, right. Drink.
You'll be right in a few hours.
Woo.
You do feel a
Reggie is
little.
my favorite person.
You feel a little something, like a little kick, a little bit of energy, a little bit of clarity, but you're still absolutely hungover. But like a little something, yeah. Give it time.
That's it's just a little dollop of antitoxin plus some stuff from my herbalism kit that'll help.
Thanks, Reggie.
Rainier, who has sort of been standing off to the side, really enjoying this and not wanting to interrupt, sort of at this point steps forward and says, I must say, I'm terribly sorry I didn't meet you sooner.
Oh, hi.
Rainier, never am at service, and apparently I've reason to thank you, my friend.
Yep, probably. So he kind of wipes the whiskey off on his vest and holds out his stubby, kind of gnarled, calloused hand. Reggie, nice to meet you.
And without hesitating at all, Rainier just sort of grabs you, shakes your hand, nice firm grip, and he says, "The pleasure's all mine. And again, my thanks for assisting this lot when they were searching for me."
Oh, yeah, sure. I know a guy who knows a guy, and they paid for my room for the next week, so isn't that nice?
I suppose it is, yes. He says, right, well, I don't know how much you're aware of what's been going on, Reggie, but my friends, if you all don't mind, I would like to update you on what I found, and as I said, don't have any problem with Reggie being here if the rest of you are all right with it.
Absolutely. Oh. Reggie, sit by me.
He's our best.
He just sort of plops down next to Syl and settles in.
Annie rolls her eyes at this.
This is really good, by the way. This is good.
Oh, thanks. I kind of thought it would have been swill, but it's not bad.
No, it doesn't even taste like whiskey. That's dangerous. Right.
Rowan has like this giant mug in his lap and is kind of like sticking his head half down into it in order to sip.
Right.
I'm imagining one of his pots and pans that he carried. Just like,
yeah, it's kind of dipping a little ladle into it.
With a ladle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ladle.
So Rainier says, well, I was able to get in touch with some contacts, and I've got a couple of bits of information. Annie and I spoke last night. I'm not sure how much she's updated you, but it seems that Dalakar, who was the gnome that was one of the tragic victims of the fireball outside your establishment those days ago, was in fact heading to speak with you all and to ask you to deliver that stone that I told you about, Annie, the stone of Golor, to my father in Neverwinter. I found a couple of things. One is about the stone itself. It seems that this stone is a sentient stone of some sort. I'm not really, no one is entirely clear on its nature, but the most important thing is that apparently the intelligence within this stone has knowledge of the location of the hoard of gold dragons that my father embezzled and hid here within the city.
The gold dragons that you said he didn't hide in the city?
No, I'm quite sure that he did. My father's an unscrupulous bastard.
He just didn't know for sure. It just sounded about appropriate.
Yes.
That he would do.
It seems that there can be no doubt that indeed, before my father's time as open lord of the city was over, he did in fact embezzle a significant amount of money from the city and hide it. And in his hiding, he had the location of it apparently wiped from everyone's minds, including his own, and placed inside of the intelligence of the sentience of this stone. That is why everyone is after it, apparently, and why he was so desperate to have Dalakar deliver it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The only other bit of information that I've managed to get is that you mentioned, Annie, you mentioned that you saw a figure racing away from the site of the fireball when you all were out there. I believe I've been able to identify him. I believe the figure that you described is an individual named Erstal Floxen.
Erstal Floxen? That's the guy, guys. That's the guy from the...
Yeah.
Say guys again.
Yeah. Guys.
That was... what we've been told is that was the leader of the Zentarum that had all of the unpleasantness last night.
And he's on the run.
Mm-hmm.
He sort of nods and he says, interesting. I wasn't able to get much information on who he was, but if he's indeed the leader of a faction of the Zentarum, or a set of the Zentarum, that does lend credence to what we spoke about earlier, that the Zentarum seem to be a bit fractured at the moment. As far as I'm aware, the leader of the Zentarum here in Waterdeep, Stavil Starsong. So perhaps this is a splinter faction that you all mentioned a few days ago that's led by this Floxen character.
Would it be called the Gents then?
That would make sense. When I believe that Davil even said that they were fractured.
Oh, well, There you have it then. That makes them dangerous. From what I could tell, Fluxin is not. I can't imagine one such as he would be able to lead more than a small group. And from what we've seen of the disturbances in the city, it's quite a significant portion of the Zentarum who have been taking umbrage with the Xanathar's Guild. I don't believe he's the top of whatever this hierarchy is, and that raises some very troubling questions.
You know where he is?
No, unfortunately, I don't. I did have some individuals who said that they saw him entering Growlhund Villa, but I suppose you all already knew that.
Yes, and from what we hear, he got away.
Of course he did. Slippery snakes like that often do.
Bastards.
He says, well, I wish that I had more for you, but that's all that my contacts are able to rustle up. Should anything else come my way, I, of course, will be the first to tell you, but that's what I've got for the moment.
Well, sir, there might be something that you can maybe help us with. We do potentially have a method of tracking this individual down, but because of our frequent encounters with the law, we've been given very strict orders to no longer be involved in this. Now, it's possible that we might be able to be brought on in some sort of official capacity, but obviously there's a lot of bureaucratic red tape. And I know that last time you were very good at cutting through it.
He says, watch on your case, are they? And he says, I'm not surprised. I've been there. He says, let me see what I can do. At the very least, perhaps I can get an audience with Vajra, and she can pull some strings for those of you who have decided to join her cadre. Yes, let me see what I can do. It's high time I visit my old friend, so meeting with Vajra sounds right up my alley. He thanks you all again and heads out.
Bye.
So, you're all trying to track down a dragon horde?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that wasn't originally what we were doing.
It's as much news to them as it is to you.
It's kind of like a bunch of dominoes that keep hitting each other, and we're just sort of watching them fall.
It's almost like it's just steps in a game.
No way. But yeah, if there's a whole bunch of gold at the end of the path, then that'd be great. We can do a lot of good with that. And of course, make sure that it gets back to the people that it was embezzled from to some extent.
Or we just become filthy rich, and Reggie, by association, becomes filthy rich. I call it the trickle-down method.
Hey, T.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a normal thing?
Not if I can help it. I hate this me. This here is base there, and I spent 23 years like this. Hate it so much.
Why don't you have sleeves?
Wait, why did you spend 23 years as this there?
That's so long.
Because I spent 23 years living in a crate.
A crate?
And you knew I didn't grow up in Waterdeep. I grew up in Silvery Moon, living in a box in an alley. Not much to be cheery about. I didn't turn into Autumn Theron until I came to Waterdeep and saw, a new future. But then I got happy because we got this place and turned spring for the first time in a long time. So this right here, this is Theron .1. This is the original. Don't like it. It's not good memories. But it'll pass. We just gotta, light a fire under my bum and just go do stuff. I guess I'll follow.
Is this because you're hungover, Reggie? Maybe you can make up some of that stuff to help out.
It's because we got in trouble for doing the right thing while trying to do the wrong thing, and there were so many people killed, and it's stink of death, and nobody seemed to care about all the people that were just slaughtered in there. We've done jobs for the Zentarum. We never actually did anything like that, but these are the people we almost shacked up with. They killed servants. They killed the butler. They killed the maids, the kitchen staff. We almost worked for them.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't them, it's faction.
Which them? Because you said there was two, right?
Yeah. We did a job for a completely different faction of the Zentarum that are actually like trying to fight this faction of the Zentarum. So,
said them.
Yeah, which kind of made sense.
Plausible deniability. That's what that is. So I'm just not in a good mood. This is all bullshit, and it'll pass. But if we're going after dragons, I think that might be just what I need.
You haven't always looked like this.
Oh no, I hate this so much. I mean, I can't wait to get my hair wet, and I'm just gonna brush it all down.
Remember the female. Got it. She was.
No, that totally makes sense now, I guess.
No, it never makes sense. You're fine. It really doesn't.
Okay.
It's always a hard transition for people to understand when I go from being spring to winter. Just
like you do.
Give me one night and I'll try. Let's just do something interesting and maybe I'll turn back.
Eugenio, is Rocky with us?
No, remember Rocky's homesick.
That's right. Oh, I was hungover.
I'm surprised he didn't get arrested.
Yeah, right.
Well, the note said he was homesick.
Don't worry about me.
Also, don't check on me.
Yeah.
All I could think of is like Ferris Bueller Day Off. Or it's like trying to make
through Waterdeep's backyards.
Well, we need to figure out what we're going to do because we just got a really big piece of information, and I'm not going to do anything without you guys. So
are you sure?
I don't like it when you're angry with me.
Yeah, I'm angry at all of you, but especially you because you're the one who went through the flipping window.
Oh God, like it's not like I haven't done it before.
Oh, to be fair, she did actually go through a door.
Door. Okay.
On the balcony.
Door.
So I'll just throw this out since the big one seems to have wandered off. If you guys are tracking down the people that exploded the gnome and my back, and you want another set of hands, I mean, I'm game because I'm not okay with that.
If you can fight as good as you can brew some.
Oh hell, I can fight. I mean, don't even worry about that.
All right.
Okay.
There's like 3 things I can do, and at least 2 of them are fighting.
Reggie, how many fingers am I holding up?
I don't care.
Now, what would you say your wisdom score is?
I don't know what that means.
All of yours.
I like his attitude.
Such a low bar.
It's like the blind leading the drunk.
It'll be fine. I mean, you guys said you have a lead, right?
Well, yeah. Well, we do.
There you go.
I mean, it seems likely that this individual had the Nimblewright, since they use that as a way to infiltrate the facility, and then they probably still have it with them. And then we can use this doodad. And I'll pull out this gizmo with all sorts of whirly bits and buttons and things. And
Reggie reaches over and pushes a button.
Oh, yeah, that's.
I think that the umbrella. He hits the umbrella release button, and the umbrella, which heretofore has just been up, just sort of goes thump.
Isn't that amazing?
It's something.
Not so much right now, but sometimes.
I love Reggie so much.
So we can use this to track down the Nimblewright that he's probably got with him.
Did Crowley say we couldn't leave the spirit?
I think it was strongly encouraged for us not to.
Are we on house arrest?
I don't think he used those words.
He just didn't want you. He didn't want you getting involved in investigations until he got back to you.
All investigation, or is this some wiggle room?
So that all sounds fantastic, and I'm with you.
Okay.
But I just have one question. What is a Nimblewright?
You mean you've seen him in the parade, Reggie?
The what now?
In the parades, you know.
They're like
Sure.
You know like a statue.
I do know a statue.
Okay,
yes.
okay. So picture a statue made out of metal, but it moves, and it's kind of magic and kind of like mechanical.
Okay, so some kind of golem.
Yeah, exactly. Like some kind of tiny little golem thing.
Intelligence.
Got it.
It was
Cool.
made by another one of them, but the one that made it is a lot smarter than it is. It's a whole thing.
That seems like a problem, but that's
it's
really not my problem. So whatever.
It is concerning. we're gonna look back in on that once we handle
right,
the.
So you have a thing that'll track the robot.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Well, technically, it detects all Nimblewrights within a 500-foot radius of us. So we could also talk to Devil. That's technically not investigating in, one area. We could just go back to the yawning portal, we're just checking in with you guys. You heard about Arbor, if you ever up in Northbourne. And then we go in and talk to Devil.
I think that's an excellent idea.
All right, so how many of these Nimblewrights are around?
Well, at least 2. We don't know how many more other than 2.
And one of them isn't affected by the detector.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the one we want to find affected by the detector?
Yes.
Yep.
Great. Then that other one doesn't matter.
Correct.
Okay. So there's one Nimblewright in Waterdeep that we know of. This sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So, worst case scenario, we just got to walk all the way around town, continuing to hit buttons on this doodad and shaking it a lot.
Well, I think the first place to start.
Gods. All right. I'm going to need a bottle.
Yeah.
Make it 2.
All right.
3.
I'll be back in a second.
No. That's not how this works. No.
So he's on his way out of the room. 3 it is.
You all are like, who?
Wait,
what?
who said 3?
It was the ghost. The ghost once.
Yes.
All right, go.
Thank you so much. I think our first place to start, because we picked up a signal at the house. The growl. Fuck. All I could think was
Growlhound, right?
Groundhound. All I could think was Grimwald because it just came out. And see if it pings, and fan out from there. Does that sound like a plan, Annie? Is that okay? Does that sound like a?
I mean, it does sound like what we call a plan that we seem to have trouble following through with at times, at the best of times. However, is it smart for us to go back to the scene of said crime that we did not commit if Crowley told us to stop investigating?
You're smart, Annie. You're really smart.
I keep telling you guys.
I believe it.
I never doubted you for a moment.
It does seem like we should maybe just take a day off and then just kind of let things play out just a little bit. I mean, Annie, feel free to go to the yawning portal, and if you want some backup, maybe we can do that. I mean, that's just a socializing. It has nothing to do with the investigation, theoretically speaking. Just casual conversation.
Well, I think that every day we wait is another day he's doing something else, or getting further away, or finding somebody else. We can't wait. I don't think we should wait.
Oh, you don't think we should wait? What a surprise.
Is this how it's going to be?
Maybe for a little bit. Maybe for a little bit.
That's fair.
You all could have died.
I'm sensing a lot of tension.
Oh, you're back, Reggie. Hi.
Yeah, Reggie says, coming back into the room with a backpack and several bottles full of liquid.
I instantly grab one from him, pop the cork, and chug half of it.
Well, I guess we're not doing too much today.
No, we're definitely doing something today. We gotta go.
This is
going to follow. I'm not going to drink anymore. That's actually starting to kick in. Thank you, Reggie. My head feels a lot better.
Yep, no problem.
I'm so glad we hired you.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but drink some water and you'll feel perfect.
Water.
It's what's frozen around us right now.
All right. You know what fish do in water, right?
They
Swim.
Yeah. At least when it's fermented, you know it's sterile. Okay, well, let's go. I'll grab my water skin and head on it. I'll grab my plague mask.
So if anyone would like some snow cones, you can find some good uncut snow. I can make some great snow cones.
That sounds great. So you guys aren't allowed to investigate by the watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was crossing my fingers the whole time.
But like, you guys were talking about going to the yawning portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a tavern.
Yeah, you're very smart, Reggie. Oh my god.
We've got a theme going on today.
What's the problem? It's not like you're not allowed to go there.
Well, we're going to go there and we're going to talk to somebody who's with the Zentarum.
Yeah, people aren't allowed to do that at taverns.
Yeah.
I think he's saying that we're going to look completely normal, and it's not
right.
investigation.
That's the one.
Yes, and if anything just comes up during the course of casual conversation, that's not on us.
Yep. Perfect.
Great.
Plus, if there's anything like forbidden you want to ask about, I can do it. The policeman didn't tell me not to do it.
Oh yeah.
So screw him.
I grab Reggie and I go, big kiss on the cheek. Loophole.
Oh God.
How much are we paying him? Because we got to raise that.
I double it at least.
Yes.
Didn't you all leave him a platinum piece?
We gave him a platinum.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? We gave him a platinum. It's fine. He's got drinks
And
for
a
days.
care package.
I
This
have
is
been
seasonal
cutting
bonus.
down because drunk while healing is not good.
Are you sure? Because we gave you some, whatever.
I'm
I'm
making that into
positive.
a shirt.
Probably good because your other healer's still drunk here.
How drunk? Like a little drunk or
50% of what it was before I drank your
perfect?
your brew there.
Perfect. That's right where we want it. Let's just
That's
maintain
right.
that. Let's go.
Ride it.
Are we going to the yawning portal or did I miss
Yeah.
something?
Yep,
Yeah,
no,
no.
we're going.
Off to
All
the
right, let's
portal.
go.
So you all head out.
You lead the way.
You all head out
Turns
of
a
fighting
pal.
spirits, and the weather has turned today. Even since earlier this morning, snow is coming down much harder. The wind is getting much stronger. The temperature has dropped a fair bit, which none of that's unusual. It's winter in Waterdeep. Like, it gets cold and snowy. It is what it is. But it means that there are fewer people sort of out on the streets today, and carriages are a little harder to come by and all of that. Doesn't necessarily slow you all down, though. You've made this trip to the yawning portal plenty of times, and so down you go. And you get down there, and the portal is always at least a little hustle bustle, even if it's not the high time of the evening yet. And you all are hoping to find Davil there.
Yeah.
So you see the half orc that greeted you the last time, whose name I'm currently blanking on. I think it's
Yorga?
Yes, thank you. She's there and she sees you all and waves to you and sort of asks you, Annie, if you're looking for Davil.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
She tells you he just walked in. She'll check and see if he'll see you.
He better see us.
She chuckles. So she goes and checks and comes back just a minute or two later and sort of waves you all back to his little room in the back of the portal. And yeah.
Okay, so Annie, you want to do all the talking?
Yes.
Well, unless Reggie needs to jump in with something that we shouldn't be talking about.
Yep, sure. You just you give me the sign and I'll get in there.
All right.
If
Okay.
you tell me what you want me to ask.
Annie,
But-
do you want him to just ask things now, or do you just want to do it?
Why do I want someone who we barely know and we just hired off the cuff to be asking all these questions?
It's Reggie.
Because you're not allowed to, and the watch might arrest you if you're found doing it.
Yeah, that what he said.
I mean, I'm easy either way. I'm just saying.
Whoa.
Ooh.
I think Annie takes a deep breath.
It goes forward. Anyways.
I mean, you go ahead. Don't let me get in the way, please.
Hmm?
I can just catch up with Dernan. It's been a while.
No. Since the others seem to think that it's all right, we'll let you do the talking. Don't mess this up, Reggie.
Okay.
If that is your real
Okay.
name.
It is, as far as you know.
Yeah, I know. We figured that out when we were looking for you. That's why I don't trust anything you say.
Why not?
Just go.
He
I'm
took a
not sure.
fireball for us.
I have
Oh,
a great
come on.
perception.
So he like marches toward the yawning portal and inside, and then
Yep.
like a second later comes back out. Who am I talking to, and what am I asking?
Right.
No, wait, we're already inside.
Oh wait,
Annie, you should lead into the conversation. You're our good contact with them. But then if there's something that we would like to be asked and you don't necessarily want to ask it, then Reggie can jump in.
That's not going to work, Rowan, because I'm just going to ask it.
Okay, well then never mind. Just go for it. It'll be fine.
I like this plan even better.
I'll put both my hands on Reggie's shoulders and be like, okay, so main point is that we need to find this Erstal Floxton. He has got.
All right, who's that?
He's the rogue leader of the Zentarum.
Right, got it.
And he's the one that may have the golem.
Oh.
I think.
The plot thickens.
If someone has to go in, I'll go in with them. I don't mind.
Like a nice room.
Okay. We're already in there, and they're waiting for us right now.
Yeah.
I need to go talk
right
to
outside
him.
the little booth or whatever, and Devil can probably hear all of this anyway.
You're just like waving at us.
Yeah.
You're just like, what are you all doing?
We're having Reggie, and I mean T could
Do
probably.
you have a group huddle going on here? Like everyone's just.
Hi, Urga.
What else do we need to know, guys?
If we just know where this Urstul is,
Mhm.
then when we can find his headquarters or whatever, and probably the Nimblewright's going to be there. So then we don't walk around the whole city trying to find the correct Nimblewright.
And under no circumstances, Reggie, are you to mention the stone. We're just looking for Urstul.
What stone?
Exactly.
Okay.
If you're joking.
Amazing.
All right.
And
Right.
Yeah, and I guess we all go, but we'll let Reggie do the talking.
Okay, so you're all going in.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh god.
So Yargo's like, well, that was weird. Come on
Tell me about it.
in. She says, I like this one. Where'd he come from?
Pretty much just scrape me up from under the bar. How about yourself?
Yeah.
I found him.
And he was on the floor.
I did not.
All right, so she leads you in. You've been in this little side chamber before meeting with Davil. And he nods to you all as you come in and thanks you for taking care of that little delivery issue that we had. I know it took a couple of tries, but I appreciate it all the same.
You bet. Happy to do it.
Who the hell is that?
Hi, I'm Reggie.
He's one of our employees. He's helping us out with several matters at the moment of great importance.
Subcontractors make me nervous.
Same.
Says, well, you're not technically Zent, so I suppose I can't say much about it. All right, what do you need? What are you here for? What's happening?
So Reggie will kind of wait half a heartbeat, make sure that Annie or anybody else doesn't want to jump in. And if they stay quiet, he'll say, well.
If they stay quiet, it'll be the biggest miracle since we started this stream.
Right. So let's get down to brass tacks. We're looking for Erston Fixel. Nope. Floxen.
Better.
He sort of says, oh, I was afraid that was what you were going to correct yourself to.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Floxen. What about him?
We're looking for him.
You and me both, bub.
So he shoots a look back to the rest of the group like,
oh shit, now what?
Right. So
Do you have any idea where he is?
You know anything about that there.
There's no you remember I told you all about how the Zentarum was sort of split into two groups here in the city? Yeah, well, Floxen's the one that split us. Well, I've been looking for him ever since they started dealing with the Xanathars Guild and causing all that trouble. Figure you cut the head off of the snake. Well, maybe not the head, but close enough to it. Maybe we could stop things, but I haven't been able to find him.
You've got no leads, no quadrants, nothing. Have you at least ruled out some portions of the city?
He says, I mean, I can't imagine he's anywhere in the castle ward, too close to the palaces and to government, but other than that, no, I mean...
well, that's helpful. That narrows it down.
There's only like 6 more words.
Do you know any of his people? Anybody that he split off from your folks, went over with him?
He says, I mean, there was a group of them that liked to hang together before they split. They were living down in the dock wards before things got hairy.
All right. You know any of their names? Or where they hung out?
Yeah, probably. Hang on.
Fair. So yeah, if you you know any places they used to spook around, or any of the people they used to deal with, that could be something.
He names a couple of there we go. He names a couple of bars down in the dock that they used to be their dead drops, or where they would meet with contacts and stuff like that. He says, I don't know if they're still, using the old haunts, but old habits die hard. So I imagine at the very least somebody's seen them from around there.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that.
So he'll kind of look back at Annie. Good enough to go on for now? Or are you looking for something else?
No, it's fine. Good job, Reggie.
She's gonna murder all of us.
You did do a good job, Reggie.
Can I?
Yeah, I did.
Can I see if
Davil?
Mm-hmm. If Davil, is he holding anything back?
Oh, you make me a wisdom insight check.
Oh.
Lots.
Man. Oh shoot. That would be a 9.
Yeah. He seems pretty he is not a fan of this Fluxen fellow, so you get the sense that there's nothing he would hold back if it meant getting at him.
Now you say this character's been spooking around with the Xanathars. Is that right?
Yeah, there's been a bit of a faction war between those two. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what it's all about, just that the Xanathar has it out for the Zents and doesn't seem to care that there's 2 groups of us these days, which is a real problem for me and my friends.
Oh, they're at war. I thought you said they were dealing.
Oh, no. They've been fighting on the streets, getting up from the sewers and into the streets, causing a lot of attention on us, which I don't know how much you know about our organization, but we don't like attention.
All right.
Unless we do, but when we want, it doesn't matter. We don't like this kind of attention.
Do you know?
I'll take your word for it.
So we're speaking to the guy who's headed the Xanathars Guild, right?
No.
So
I hope not.
Is he part of the other
Zentarum?
Oh yeah, no. This
is half of the Zentarum.
This is the other half of
the winged snake tattoo group.
Okay. So, and then they're battling the
Xanathars Guild, which is the lots of eyes on the circle tattoo group.
I wonder if we should go talk to them.
Well, I was thinking if they were in cahoots, then if you could find some of the Xanathar's folk, and then they might lead you to Flixel's guys. But if they're fighting, then that's less. Well, all right, hang on. Like, how big and bad are they fighting? You said that it's causing a lot of attention, right?
There's been bodies all over the place.
So, I mean, we could just wait for one of those things to flare up and then grab somebody.
Do you know?
Or we just go to the bar that Devil.
I mean, naturally, we're going to go to the bars. I mean, why wouldn't we do that?
That's neither here nor there.
I just out of curiosity, do you know where the leader of the Xanathars is?
He says no, and I don't want anything to do with the Xanathars Guild.
That's fair. And I'll just let it go.
Well,
they're freaking weirdos,
right?
One good thing that comes from this is if we do find somebody, I can make them talk. I'm a little better at being intimidating like this, if you believe it.
All right, now I don't.
Sure.
Lay off the drink just a little bit. Slow down. Pace yourself. It's all about pacing.
Those pants are a little scary.
I like
them.
I didn't say I didn't like them.
You
It
need
probably
some
looked
like
better on sale. It probably looked better on sale, but I needed something that wasn't a skirt.
you need like good leather boots. Really pull it together.
I'm just trying to think about how he fit into Syl's pants. She's not
Elf.
exactly a
Well,
bitch.
You took it up inside you.
What? What? I was looking at a map and then I turned to pay attention. I can't.
I've been watching a lot of Drag Race.
Bar.
Is that why he squeaks every 30 seconds? I told you to watch the zippers.
Davel
Alright.
is just sitting at that table horrified.
Yeah.
So, we good? We got.
I'm just gonna
Yeah,
Reggie
yeah.
out.
Let's
and
go,
like,
Navis.
Let's go
Eye
to the
tattoo.
bar that he told us about that we definitely know the name of.
Yeah. The name of it is. I literally just had it. That's what I was looking at the map for.
And then we just
there was
tried to fall
And then there was
Yeah.
tucking. Yep.
I got very distracted. It's called the Three Pearls Nightclub.
Of course, it's a Three Pearls.
Oh, come on.
Oh, we're going to the Pearls? All right.
Oh God! Do you know anybody there?
Couple.
Say it's the Docks Ward, so I
As
would
in
the
a couple
Pearls.
of people or a couple that frequent there?
Yes.
Yes.
The only answer. All right, so you all are heading south. Davil's like, he seems happy enough to let you go after Ursula and also like wants no part of whatever is about to happen.
Nice meeting you, Devil, as he's being hauled out by the collar.
I'm going to reserve judgment on whether or not to say you too.
That's fair.
Reggie's
All right. So you all want to head down to the Pearls.
Mhm.
Doing anything along the way, dare I ask?
I guess looking for fights between the Centaurum and the Xanathar's Guild, just in case we can snatch somebody, because opportunity.
Who's got the Nimblewright detector?
Yeah, can we fire that thing up
Rowan
on the
has
way
it.
or what?
Oh yeah. I'll
Yeah,
just have it up the whole time and just kind of keep using it. And
Okay, just keep checking in on it. Great, that'll work.
Right.
All right, great. So you all head over to Snail Street, sort of the easiest and most direct way to head down into the dock ward from the yawning portal. And again, the weather is getting worse. The snow is coming down harder. It's getting a little later in the day, so the daylight is sort of beginning to wane. It's really chilly out. There are very few people out walking the streets at this point. And you all don't get very far on Snail Street when the detector starts to spin.
oh, hey,
Word.
look.
Ah!
Okay, well, yeah.
Oh my God! I can't believe that worked.
Is
Is there like an alley we can duck into or something?
Sure.
Is it supposed to do that?
Yeah, like whirls and stuff. That means that we're close. That there's a Nimblewright somewhere within.
We gotta
like,
find the direction.
And it was pretty slow. Like clearly it was at the edge of the range, and now it's stopped again.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can triangulate the position.
Quick, back out of the alleyway, quick.
It's Nimblewright go.
So you back out, and it starts to spin a little bit again.
We just look like the weirdest people.
Yeah.
The weirdest people in Waterdeep. Wow.
That is a bar. There's a bar.
Okay, so I'll start walking around and trying to figure out like a rough center of the location.
Yeah, it takes a minute because you get the idea that this thing is moving. Because sometimes you won't be moving and it will slow down or stop clicking. So it's a little tougher to triangulate it, but you are able to sort of start moving in the general direction and beginning to head so that it clicks more loudly, spins more quickly, and you all are able to sort of track it. And as you do, you sort of head straight for it's really clear what direction you're heading, because it's hard to miss another one of the walking statues of Waterdeep. You all are headed straight for the Honorable Knight, which is one of the walking statues like the God Catcher that you all did the drop at a few days ago. Except this one is a statue of a male warrior dressed in plate armor with a shield and a longsword that just sort of stands in the middle of a crossroads of streets at the very southern end of the trades ward. And you head over to the knight, and this thing is really going for it. And let me have everybody make wisdom perception checks for me, please. oh, good. I like these sounds. Let's start with Rowan.
16.
Okay. Theron.
13.
Annie.
15.
Reggie.
3.
That's our Reggie.
And Sil.
Reggie and I are drinking. I rolled a 9.
Oh, really good. Okay.
Clink.
I told you counted on me for my observational abilities.
Annie, you had a 15, you said?
Yep.
Okay. So you and Sil spot like a little glimmer off of like the light that like glints off the snow and then glints off of something metallic. And the two of you turn and catch sight of what is unmistakably another little Nimblewright. You understand again the description of it, like a puppet with no strings. It is very clearly not organic, and it sort of ducks into a little alleyway.
So I saw it was me and who?
I think
And Rowan.
Yeah.
Rowan. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it definitely was not me.
Yeah. I was like,
Definitely was not Sil.
So
There. It went that way. Start
get
after it. Yeah. Rowan's like going.
Yeah. Let's go.
Wait, do we want to run after? Do we want to follow? Okay, we're going.
We run after it. If we don't
Too late.
catch it, we don't think it's getting away.
Try to be stealthy about it. I'm going to try to be stealthy, and then ideally we're just going to figure out where it's going.
Wait, we're gonna be stealthy?
Well, Rowan's going to try.
It's kind of hard to be stealthy in the snow because the crunch.
I'll cast.
He's got to act natural.
The wind also is loud enough to probably cancel the crunch.
I will cast Expeditious Retreat.
Yes. Oh, you blessed little hen, you. Great. All right, why don't you go ahead and make me a dexterity stealth check then, Rowan?
Mm-hmm. 24.
Yeah, well, you are really quiet, which I don't think is ever a thing I expected to say about Rowan. So you head over and you see that sort of at the far, this alley is a dead end, and at the far end, the Nimblewright is just sort of standing facing the wall, and it slowly turns itself around to look at you.
See all of us?
Are we all there or just Rowan?
I think just Rowan at this point, yeah.
So it clearly is seeing me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I will kind of duck back and pretend like I didn't see it, or like I act nonchalant. Like I'm just walking. Hey,
Okay,
oh, look, the Nimblewright. That's interesting.
Good. Really good. Okay. All right. What are the rest of you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm following Rowan because he said, "Let's go," and took off.
Yeah, I was running right with Rowan until he all of a sudden picked up a really astonishing amount of speed.
and quiet speed. So you all get up to the alley right as Rowan is sort of backing up out of it. Like you saw him go and look at, and then he sort of just backed slowly out. And you all get there as he is sort of stepping back. And you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what is it? Where? Rowan, where is it? Is it snow?
It saw me. We gotta play cool. Be cool.
I mean, we gotta find out if it has a thing on the back of his head and all. Hey, should we just ask it?
Is this a dead end alley? Rowan?
I don't know.
Yes.
That's
No idea.
all you need to say.
Annie, remember we gotta look at the back of its head.
Is there like other roofs kind of low? You're saying that it disappeared?
No.
Oh.
Rowan just stepped back out of the alleyway.
Oh, so we haven't gotten into the alley yet.
I mean, you tell me, but as far as I'm aware, no.
Mm-hmm.
Annie charges forward into the alley.
Brilliant. Of course she does. And as Annie is charging forward, you catch just the corner of like a little pile of like rubbish and paper, like broadsheets and whatever, just sort of shuffle and shudder just a little bit in the back corner of the alley, but you don't see the Nimblewright.
Oh, I run over to the pile and I go, whoa!
As she goes charging around the corner, I'm going to look at Syl and say, didn't she just yell at you for that?
It's double standards.
Right.
Can I?
They're what this family's built on.
Yes. And hypocrisy. I was asking earlier, the roofs.
Oh, yes, sorry. They're lowish, yeah.
Can I look up on the roof and see if can I investigate the roof and see if there's sign that perhaps he went up there?
I mean, from where you're standing, you can't get a good view of the top of the roof. Do you just mean to see if you see him like standing up there at this point, or do you want to check for like tracks of his up there? Because if that's the case, you'll have to climb up. They're not that low.
Screw it. I'm gonna climb up. Can I climb
All right,
up?
give me a strength athletics check.
No.
Annie, meanwhile, you have rushed in there and you're throwing aside these broadsheets, and the Nimblewright is there underneath all of the rubbish and refuse, and it has its rapier drawn, and it's going to lunge for you. And Syl, why don't you tell me what your athletics check was? What was it?
10.
Yeah, so you'll move half speed, but you can get up to the roof. Let's have everybody roll initiative, please.
Right.
As
Roll.
has a rapier trained on Annie, and I don't want to presume what Annie's going to do, but I'm going to presume what Annie's going to do.
What would you presume there?
I mean, look, I don't want to tell you how to play your character or anything.
Oh, my play barbarian.
All right. So Annie, let's start with you.
14.
All right. And Rowan.
8.
And Syl.
8.
Who wants to go first, Rowan or Annie? I mean, Rowan or Syl, sorry.
Syl, you can go first.
Okay. Reggie?
9.
And Theron.
Another hateful 8.
Oh, all right.
Oh, no.
Where in that little trio do you want to go, my friend?
Right in the middle.
All right.
If I may. I mean, if anyone else wants to go before me, that's fine.
Lordy. All right. So as you throw the broadsheets off of it, the only reason that you know that it in fact does have its rapier drawn is because it lunges and tries to strike you, Annie, with said rapier. Good Lord, this thing can fight. All right. So it's going to try and stab you with its rapier for a 15 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
All right, so it totally shocks you. Like you lift up a paper and suddenly there's a rapier in your belly. So that's super cool. It then retracts the rapier and tries to stab you again with a 19 to hit.
Yep.
So it just 2 quick jabs with its rapier, and then in its other hand, you notice that it has a dagger that it also swings at you. But that's only a 12 to hit. Does that hit you?
Well, no, I just took the dual wielder feat. I get +1 to AC because I have my hand axes. So that means I'm a 13 instead of a 12, right? Did I read that right? Because then it doesn't hit.
So,
yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
Right. Yep. All right. So you at that point like have enough presence of mind now that you've been stabbed twice to take your hand axes and like parry the dagger aside. But unfortunately, those two. Where the hell?
Oh boy.
Those 2 rapiers are rapier strikes are gonna cut down deep into you for 9 plus 17 points of damage altogether. Piercing damage altogether.
All right.
And Annie, it's your turn to strike back. The barbarian strikes back.
Yeah. So, oh man, she knows she has to check the neck though. But she just got stabbed twice, so I
She
think
sure did.
she rages.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
feels
that's a good
wise.
start. Yeah, yeah.
Yay! I would like to rage, please.
Yeah, she rages for sure. And then she's going to swing with her hand axes, but let's see if we can hit the thing. That's, it's 16 plus 5 to hit.
That'll do.
So, and 4, 5. Oh gosh, wrong page there. Okay.
While Annie is doing that, for those of you watching, don't forget we do have the D&D Beyond overlay on our Twitch stream. So if you want to keep track of everybody's hit points and see how close they are to dying, you can hover over on the side of your screen and check out there.
So that's 10 points for the first X, and I need to roll again to see if I hit with the second one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, 17 plus 5 to hit for that, and that's another 10 points to hit it.
Now remind me, the dual wielding feat, that's not the one that lets you add your strength bonus, right? That's the fighting style.
Correct.
Yeah.
If
Just a flat die. Just a flat die for the damage on your second attack.
On the second attack, it lets you add the.
Doesn't it allow you to be proficient with both?
Yeah.
It lets you add it to your attack roll, not to your damage, though.
To attack roll. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But never mind. So then that is just 7 to hit on the second. Or 7 points.
All right. Here we go. And the first one was 10, right?
Yeah.
All right. So both of these hand axes just scrape against it. The whole thing is made of metal. And it feels like, these axes, it's really well constructed, and the axes don't quite dig as deep into the creature as you would like, but you certainly do take a couple of good gouges out of it. And now it is Reggie's turn, and Reggie, you hear the unmistakable sounds of combat over the screaming winds of a Waterdavian winter.
No problem. Right, so Reggie will head on into that dead end alley and see just all kinds of blood and pain happening. So how hardy does the Nimblewright look? I know it's taken a couple of smacks. Does it still look is it not showing any worse for wear?
I mean, you can see the scratches for sure, but it's not like limping or anything.
Sure. Okay. All right. So I'll head up to it and just kind of come up on Annie's flank and just kind of lash out with that bottle I've been carrying and try and club it on the side of the head.
Yes, you will.
That will be a 15.
And you clank it right on the side of its head, and it just clangs off of this thing's metal body and doesn't seem to have actually done it any damage. It barely seemed to notice.
Okay, then I will use a bonus action to basically just kind of stumble into it and throw my shoulder into it and try and bash it into the wall with an unarmed strike.
Yeah.
That'll be a 24.
That will do. And you all watch. You're not really sure if Reggie meant to do it, but it seemed effective, so.
So that'll be 7 bludgeoning damage.
Right. Put a nice dent in its back as you slam it up against the wall.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Syl, you can make your way with your move on this turn up to the rooftops to just sort of be able to peek over and see what's happening in this little alleyway.
Dash to make my movement and still have an action?
Yeah, sure.
Or to get to where I need to do and not spend my whole turn trying to get there?
I mean, where are you trying to get to?
Do I hear anything?
Oh, yeah, you hear the sounds of combat coming from the alleyway.
Well, then I want to go to the alleyway.
Great. So you're going to jump off the roof?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yes, you can use your action to dash. Make me a dexterity acrobatics check, sorry.
Don't fuck me, metal die. Athletics check?
Yes, please. No, acrobatics check. Dexterity acrobatics, yeah.
19.
Hey, all right. So you're able to sort of dive down. It's not that high a roof anyway, but you're able to sort of dive down and roll as you hit the ground so you don't injure yourself and come to standing right by this now completely cornered little Nimblewright who's just been slammed up against the wall by our friend Rocky. So you do still have your action.
Reggie.
Reggie, sorry.
Can I?
Nope. Theron, you're on deck.
I thought I was.
Yeah.
You
can
all
go
got
if
8,
you want
so
to.
you
Oh,
decide
okay.
who's gonna go next.
Either way.
Theron sandwich.
At seeing probably the Nimblewright, I'm gonna attack it.
Yeah, I feel like you are not a big fan of this thing, so
No,
yes.
I did not like it at all. So I am going to
Swing that scimitar.
yeah. Can I swing? Because I have
You cannot swing both because you've already used your bonus action.
That's fair. Just the one then.
Correct.
That is terrible.
Oh, good.
Oh yay! Dex plus proficiency. That would be 8.
An 8. So it just sort of slides out from underneath Reggie's arms, and you just sort of stab into the wall, the dead end wall behind it, totally missing. Maybe perhaps scratching your scimitars a bit, but not damaging them in any meaningful way. All right. So who's going next, Theron or Rowan?
I guess I will. That's okay.
Okay, great. Do it, Rowan.
Well, I will dash as a bonus action to get behind Annie, and then I will touch her and cast Cure Wounds.
All righty.
At a 2nd level spell.
Fantastic. You roll that up, and in the meantime, Theron, anything else that you're going to do, Rowan?
I'll move back.
All right, great. So while you roll that up, Theron, why don't you tell us, take your turn?
All right, I pull my bow out again. I pull back on no string, twiddle my fingers a little bit, and a red bolt fires out of my hand, just weaving its way between everybody. And 19?
19 will hit.
Yay! I was worried we had metal. Where's the D10 game? Oh, there it is. That is 8 damage.
And that is what kind of damage? Fire damage.
Fire.
Yeah. All right. All right. So that catches its attention as a little sort of a couple of its joints, not super important ones, but a couple of joints sort of melt a little bit and fuse together. Guess there are some downsides to being made at least partially out of gold. Low melting point. All right. Rowan, what was that healing for Annie?
15.
Nice. All right. Good heals. All right. Theron, anything else?
I'm going to keep my distance.
Okay, great. So it is the Nimblewright's turn again, and it is not super pleased with its current situation insofar as it's able to register that sort of thing.
I will yell out, don't kill it.
Good luck with that, Theron.
Don't kill it.
The three of you are all sort of in its face, but I think Annie is still the biggest and the one that hurt it the most, and currently the scariest since she's also raging. So it's going to at least go after her with its rapier. So once again, it's going to try and stab you. That's a 14 to hit you.
That hits.
And a 16 to hit you with the rapier.
Halved, because I'm raging.
Yep. So that is, where's my bonus? There we go. So that is 5 halved for 2 and 10 halved for 5. So a total of 7 damage. It then is going to take its dagger and try and slash at Rocky, since Reggie's the other one. Reggie, God.
He has disadvantage.
Who has what?
The Nimblewright has disadvantage because I'm raging.
Oh, that's right. I forgot what.
Yeah, we haven't described that quite yet.
But... Yeah. Do you want to do that?
I think this would be maybe a shock for Annie as well, but
I think it is, yes.
So she's, it just got hit again, but as it goes for Reggie, she kind of glances out of the corner eye and she sees maybe a shimmer of a specter of some kind that looks familiar to her at least, and I think the others probably hear her go, "Grandpapa." And she looks quick, if she can, she looks around at the others and she sees, and everybody would probably see this as well, shimmering specters in front of them. Some of them look a little, maybe some look like some orcs and some look like some noble humans.
And the one in particular that is next to Reggie does indeed distract the Nimblewright from his attack. So with disadvantage, oh no, that's an 11 to hit you, Reggie.
Reggie kind of like staggers back on his heels and loses his balance, and the blade just sort of right in front of him.
Again, it's like he's either really good at this or really not, but super lucky.
It's like a dwarven Jackie Chan.
A little bit.
Amazing. All right. So that is what the Nimblewright does. Annie, you are up. Reggie, you're on deck.
Yes.
Yep. So I think she's distracted enough that she decides to she remembers, oh right, Theron said something about not killing it. She's actually going to try to grapple the Nimblewright and hold it.
All right.
So
you're going to make a strength athletics check.
Yeah.
Which will be against the Nimblewrights. Not
So
strength athletics.
A 17 plus 5.
Oh, I was going to say he got a 17 too, but not plus 5.
Yeah.
All right, so you have the thing grappled.
Mm-hmm.
It can still attack. It's not restrained or anything, but it's not going anywhere at this point. Excellent. Anything else, Annie?
Can I check its neck if I grappled it?
Yeah. Give me. Yes, I think that you can. And you do, in fact, see on the back of its neck. You see that that insignia that Nim described for you guys.
Okay.
Or I guess that Valletta described via Nim for you guys.
Yeah. Then if you'll let me, then I'll be like, this is the one.
Yep, totally.
So yeah.
All right. As she calls that out, Reggie, you're up.
All right.
Who's on deck? Sill's on deck.
Not quite understanding what's going on with the neck. I think Reggie is going to try and smash his bottle into the back of the Nimblewright's knees to knock its legs out from under it.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm going to try and shove it prone.
Yeah, do it.
So he can make an athletics or acrobatics check.
Yes, and you make me your athletic. Oh, well, that's a 12 from mine.
Yeah, that's a 13 for mine. So,
yes. All right. So, like, the bottle gets stuck, but that ends up having the desired effect. Again, like, lucky or talented, who knows? And the Nimblewright then is dropped prone with Annie on top of it.
So I'll knock it prone, and then I'll spend a key point to flurry of blows and just sort of stumble and drop both of my knees into its torso.
Yes.
One's a miss and the other's a 22.
Well, that'll do.
All right.
The 22 will certainly do.
So that'll be 5 more points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
And then I will, with my drunken technique, I will kind of stagger backward. We'll say about 15 feet with the benefit of a disengage. So
yes,
no opportunity attack.
He's weaving so much.
Kind of weaving and like steady himself on the wall, and then just belch. Oh,
I love him so much. Sill, you are up, Rowan. You're on deck.
All right. I know I heard Annie. I'm gonna hit him anyways.
I'm shocked.
Well, no, I mean, she at this point, she's basically like, kill it because it's.
Sorry, I heard Theron. I'm gonna hit him anyways.
Yeah.
Do I get advantage because he's grappled?
He's prone, which is why you get advantage. Yes.
Ooh, yes. Oh, that's right. He's prone.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck!
Oh yeah. Did your other one hit, Reggie? Yeah, go ahead and roll that. That's fine.
That's a 14 for the first hit.
A 14? What's that?
13.
Oh, 13. So yeah, it clangs off of the side of the thing. Doesn't quite do it. Reggie, what was that other damage?
That's going to be 7.
All right, great.
Yep.
Natural 20 on the second hit.
That. All right, so double your dice, not your modifier.
Okay, and I do not. Do I still get sneak attack on this?
Yes, because you had advantage.
There's
so many. Lord. What level rogue are you now? I can't keep track.
I'm level 3. I took the level 3 rogue and I took.
Oh, you took 3rd level rogue instead of fighter.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, great. So that's 2d6, so doubled to 4d6. And what are you attacking with? A scimitar, right?
I am.
Okay, so 6d6 altogether.
I only
don't roll ones.
How am I rolling off of my damn table today? Like, I've rolled, there's like a whole group of dice.
Who's on deck? Rowan's on deck. Oh, I'm hearing numbers. I'm liking the numbers. Oh, it's so tempting to just say numbers, but I won't. Because then this will never end.
I'm rolling 6.
6, yes.
21.
Still's not allowed to crit anymore.
That's 21. That's 21 on the dice. So that's
okay.
Right?
What's your dexterity modifier?
My dex modifier is +2.
All right, so another 2 to that.
Yeah. So was I supposed to double the dice or just roll the dice?
No. Just roll. I doubled the number of dice that you roll because who wants to just roll fewer dice ever? Nobody.
Right? Especially when I only have.
That's actually not true. There are people who are like Mike Shea, genius man, doesn't roll for damage when he DMs. It makes me sad.
Yeah. So that was 23 points of damage.
I understand why. He's not wrong about any of it, but still.
He likes his average values.
He does. You know what? I bet his combats are faster than mine. All right.
Probably.
Rowan, you are up. You watch as Syl just slides one of her scimitars up and in between the cogs and gears and just rips out a good portion of this thing's inner workings. It is still moving, but it looks in a bad way.
Yeah, I'm starting to... it looks like everyone's not trying to take it alive, right? I mean, that was the original plan and that's what we discussed, but it does not look like it's going that way.
No.
I'm pretty sure we're not really good in the heat of battle.
Yeah.
Hard to tell what Reggie's doing.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Well, I am... does it look like it's trying to squirm free of Annie or match her strength and break her arms as they're wrapped around it?
Oh, no, definitely squirm. But it's also hard to tell if it's trying to squirm free or just stab things.
All right. Well, I will hex it, and I will hex its dexterity.
Oh boy.
Oh, nice.
Oh boy.
And then I will cast Minor Illusion, and we're just going to try this trick. It'll be just a stationary version of its creator, kind of just.
Of Nim.
Yeah, just in a 5-foot square close by.
Minor Illusion, the cantrip can't make a creature. It has to be an object.
It's just going to be like a statue that looks.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's not moving. It's just a image.
Fair.
So Jesse has tricked us in the past.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's see if it notices being underneath our front. I just rolled a 19 and a 20. Yes, it does in fact catch sight. Now is when I roll. Now it does in fact catch sight of this little minor illusion. In the meantime, before it can react, Theron, you are up. Sorry, was there a gun, Rowan? Yes. Yes.
Seeing that it's down in the dog pile, Theron's just kind of going to drop the bow and just go sit on a barrel and wait.
Okay, so it is the Nimblewright's turn, and the Nimblewright goes really still for a minute and then redoubles its efforts to try and get out from underneath Annie, but its focus is just locked on the image of Nim standing there impassively. So Annie, Annie, you'll need to make a strength athletics check, although it got a 10 to get out from under you with a disadvantage acrobatics check.
14.
Yeah, all right. So it squirms and tries to do the thing, but it can't quite get out. It is going to try again. Oh my god, that's a natural 1. And its third attack, it's going to try what? It's a 2. So it tries really effing hard to get out from underneath you, but it can't quite manage it. Annie, you're up.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I have it grappled.
You do.
And we are. Oh gosh. Yeah, she's gonna try to just rip its head off.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
So would that be strength athletics?
To rip its head off or chop its head off?
Yeah, she still got that. I imagine she
I'm
has,
super
like,
in favor of either. So
yeah, either one. I think. Well, for flavor, I think it's going to be a rip of the head.
All right. So if you're gonna rip the head off, go ahead and make I guess make an arm strike, which is your strength plus your proficiency, because everybody's apparently proficient with their own fists, as I recall.
15.
15 is not enough. Did you grab it? So do you have advantage?
Did you do advantage because it's
That's
prone?
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Come on.
15 again.
No! All right. So you try and grab it, but it's thrashing about, trying to move its head around, but not necessarily to avoid your hands. It's just that your hands are getting in the way of its like laser focus on the image of Nim. So you just can't get good grip.
Yeah.
But it was a lovely try, Reggie.
All right, so Reggie's going to kind of weave his way back through the trash piles, back toward the thing, and be like, all right, look, one of us back there says we shouldn't kill you. And I'm inclined to listen for the moment. So maybe if you calm down a minute, we can figure this out. Or, and he'll just kind of look at the axe-wielding, raging barbarian trying to pull its head off. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and see if it decides to relax at all. And if not, I'm basically just going to ready my action to strike it if it tries to attack anyone.
Got it. All right. So we will see momentarily. It seems like it's listening to you, but how it's going to react remains to be seen. Syl, in the meantime.
So
where are you? There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. So after seeing Annie trying to pull the head off the Nimblewright, Syl thinks back to seeing Rocky let go of a person, and it sobers her just a little bit. And she looks down and instead of attacking, cast disguise self to look like the Nimblewright. Can I do that?
There are so many Nimblewrights in this alley right now.
I'll cast to look like the bitch.
Valletta.
Valletta.
Yeah.
So change body type. Same form. Yep. Great. Yeah. So you look like Valletta, the Dragonborn priest of Gond. Maybe a slightly. She was quite tall, so maybe a little bit shorter than the real one, but otherwise it's a decent approximation of Valletta. You don't, I think, have the tail that she had, but you're able to sort of hide that underneath your robes.
Well, I have a tail.
Oh, you do have a tail. So yes, of course you have the tail. Oh,
yeah.
Tiefling.
Of course I have a tail. I love how we never have drawn attention to it.
I think its head just explodes. Hang on.
Guys, what accent did she have?
You were so mad you weren't paying attention.
I really was.
So now it is stopped struggling, and it's flicking its head back and forth between Reggie and Nim and Valletta, and just sort of seems caught in some sort of feedback loop.
Can I just
kind
say,
of like me when you all talk for 8 years and don't do anything?
Can I just say surrender?
You can say whatever you want. This thing is broken.
Surrender. I can't remember what she sounded like.
It sounded a little bit like this.
Surrender.
Okay, great.
Bitch.
Rowan.
So it doesn't look like it's struggling anymore.
Not at the moment.
Okay, well then I'm going to switch. I'm going to cease concentrating on Hex and to cast Silent Image at will to kind of create now an illusion that can move and cancel the minor illusion as I'm doing so. And now we have a moving statue.
Oh, man. Okay, cool.
And it's gonna move back.
Oh Lord. All right. So this happens. The Nimblewright like stops its to focus just on Nim, and as it steps back towards Valletta, is that the idea here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as the two of them join together, Annie, you feel the thing just begin to vibrate and heat up a little bit, and then it just slumps.
Oh God, we killed it.
Yeah, Annie just goes.
Did we literally just fry out Windows 97?
Oh no!
That's what they get for running Windows 97.
What did I do?
1492, y'all. It's almost 100 years out of date. Or 5 years early, I don't know which, but
Just, I think Annie drops the Nimblewright, and real quick, she quickly looks over to the last place she saw the specter in front of Reggie. And if it's still there, but probably fading, she just says, "No, wait, stay."
and the whole group of them sort of all turn their focus on you for a brief moment, and then they sort of are blown away with a gust of wind and snow.
No.
What the hell just happened?
A lot of
Looks
things.
like we got more ghosts around us than just the one that lives over at the bar there.
Okay.
Wait, what? Never mind. We'll worry about that later. Oh, wait, could we see those spirits too?
Yeah, I think so.
Think so.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
Valletta
double
said
check
she'd
that, but
give
I
us-
think so.
I think Valletta said she'd pay us if we brought in the Nimblewright.
All right,
Okay.
I'm gonna let you guys handle this. I need a minute. Reggie's just gonna kind of go lean his head against the wall and cross his arms over his chest and just sort of breathe.
Okay. So, is it dead or broken?
It seems very broken. Yes.
Can anyone tell? Okay. I'll cease concentrating on the illusion.
Is there an on and off switch?
No.
I didn't know if he had like a reset button.
I think Rocky would have a lot to say on that point of an on and off switch. If you recall, he had some thoughts about sentientness versus free will and all of that.
Yeah.
Good thing Rocky's not here.
Uh-huh.
I think Annie, in her sadness and desperation that the spirits didn't stay, takes her hand axe and goes, "Nah!" and just attacks.
No.
She literally chops off the head of the Nimblewright.
I'll catch it.
Fair enough. Catch it as it goes
Can you
flying
catch it?
and still catches it.
Or you catch the axe, or you catch the head.
I was gonna stop the axe.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, good luck with
Well.
that.
goodness.
what do we do?
That's such a good question. So it's sort of like,
it's gonna fail because I have a -1 strength, but I'm gonna try anyways.
yeah, go ahead
Oppose
and
the
roll
attack
it
roll.
up. What's that?
I was saying oppose the attack roll if you want to like catch it with the sword. or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that way you don't have to use your strength. Yeah. So why don't you both make attack rolls? Annie,
16.
16, and Sil.
Do I add dex and stuff or
Yeah, like an attack roll with your scimitar.
19?
Okay. So just as the axe is coming down, Sil slides the scimitar in underneath it and sort of parries it away.
Okay, we need to keep this thing as intact as what we can. We need to hide it because obviously this is investigative work that we weren't supposed to be performing.
We need to chop off
Actually-
its head. It killed people.
Actually, if
already
Valletta
broken.
said she'd give us some money if we brought in the body. It's made of gold. It's got to be
and we-
worth something.
We can definitely do that.
Oh.
But
So,
it was ordered to kill people, Annie. It was just a tool, and probably didn't really understand what it was doing. If it was even intelligent at all.
Oh, I think it was intelligent. It ran away from its creator, Rowan.
It seemed confused.
Is it dead? Reggie will come over and kind of nudge it with his toe. Clunk.
You sort of nudge it, and it like rolls over to one side, and it doesn't seem to respond. But as you sort of nudge it and it turns over, a little slip of parchment falls out from the inside of its cloak.
Oh, sweet! I found it. I'll scoop up the parchment and look at it.
So the parchment is a map of what looks like the northern part of Waterdeep, and there is an X marked in the northernmost ward, just excuse me, just outside the city, the field ward, which is definitely the not nicest part of town. There's an X marking a particular location in the field ward, and the name Thrakus is written next to it.
All right. So apparently there's going to be a fracas in the slums. Check it out.
I was about to say, is this like a more like elevated fracas?
He'll pass that over.
I have a question. If Reggie's the bartender, who's the bouncer?
I mean, I can bounce people. That's fine.
Thought Rocky.
Yeah, bounce them like right through the window. That was amazing.
If you were to hire a bouncer too, that'd be great.
I'll just slap him.
Either way,
got a promotion.
Hey, nice. So, what do we do with this thing? You guys done with it, or?
It's a great question.
Did you say you wanted to bring it to somebody for money? Because that sounds great.
Yeah.
You think?
You just drop off the parts at the back of this fighting spirit and go do that later.
Do you think we can bring the Nimblewright that made it to us?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll let it out of the tower.
It would be very difficult to sneak it out, especially since we can't talk to it. It'll probably be easier to try to put the remains inside of a bag or something, or hide them, and then just try to get it over there, because that way we don't have it on our person and we have to explain it to the watch when they come by, telling us that we're allowed to work the case again.
You said, oh god, you said it had like a cloak on, right?
It does, yeah. It's got like.
So does it look like if it's kind of swathed in its cloak and it's humanoid in form, right? Mm-hmm. Could it pass as maybe somebody wearing armor or just a figure? I mean, it's night, it's snowing.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, unless somebody were to come up and coo or whatever, you're gonna be fine.
All right, I got this. You guys just shove off. I'll get it back to the place.
I also
will you.
As if Rowan summoned them as Reggie sort of begins to pick this thing up.
For fuck's sake.
Two city watchmen round the corner and sort of stop at the mouth of the alley and just sort of look at each of you.
Do I still look like Valletta?
I don't know. Do you?
It lasts for an hour.
Can I minor illusion to cover it with snow?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Hi.
So hello.
They say hello.
Hey.
What you doing?
Hey, this is not the Three Pearls. And that is a problem, officer.
This is what we get for letting the drunk dwarf lead the way.
Yes. He is correct. Do you think you could point us in the correct direction?
I think maybe your friend here doesn't need a tavern tonight, but maybe just a bed.
Oh, my bed is there, and my friends do need a tavern, if that's all right with you. But I seem to have lost my bearings.
We're doing our best to take care of him, officer. We just thought it best to take this stop in the alleyway real quick in case he needed to.
Way over to the side.
I mean, you should have seen him like 5 minutes ago when he was yelling his head off, and we were like, "Be quiet, people are trying to sleep," and just.
There are the lies that I was looking for. Let's have somebody make me a charisma deception check.
I do not remember that.
Take back the advantage.
I'll lie.
I'm happy to, or if you would like to, Reggie.
So essentially, I'm trying to help deceptions.
Okay. Well then, I will with advantage. I get an 18.
Ooh. All right. So they sort of roll their eyes and they say, "Look, we're almost done with our shift. Please just get him to the pearls before anything happens so that we can finish our shift and go home. Please don't cause any trouble."
Of course.
No
Plus,
trouble.
no.
That is the second best idea I have heard all night.
One of them starts to ask you what the first was, and the other just elbows him in the chest, and he just shakes his head. And so they walk on.
All right. So,
That was so good. It went really well.
Good job. Good improv. Good improv.
Okay.
So Reggie will scoop up the Nimblewright out of the illusion of the snowbank and kind of cloak it in its drape there, and will hang its arm over his shoulder like he's kind of helping him stagger down the road, and he'll just kind of drunkenly sing and sway with this Nimblewright down the darkened streets toward the bar.
Great. It's a ways to the pearls still at this point, because you all are just sort of, you've just made it to the walking statue, but you can get down there, and like you said, there are very few people out anyway, and especially the further south you get and into the dock wards you get, the fewer people are going to come and inspect what you're carrying anyway.
Were you going to the pearls, or were you going to the fighting spirit?
Nope, your guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
You're headed north. Well,
Yeah.
then in that case, you're much closer. So you're able to get back without any problem.
Yep. So you guys just go away so the guards don't see you with this thing, and I'll meet you there.
Right.
Yeah, no, not happening. Don't trust you. One
Your
of us
call.
is staying with you.
I don't care if you get arrested, I guess. I mean, I sort of do. That would be sad.
Annie, we just made him a gift basket. Are we really not going to trust him now?
Look,
Hey.
I don't care if my grandfather was protecting him. I don't trust him because we don't even know his name. We just picked him up off the street.
That's weird.
Annie?
I'll go with him. I
Yeah,
need a
okay.
drink anyways. I'll go with him, and I'll sling the arm over my shoulder. I'm debating. I'll drop it. I'll drop Valletta, and I'll go back to Syl.
There you go.
I'll fling the other arm, and we'll just drunkenly go back to the spirit.
We'll roll the old chariot along.
I should probably go with them. I should probably go just to make sure they make it there. Reggie's fancy drink that made me not drunk. Yeah, I'll chaperone.
Did we all just want to go back to the spirits for now, or do we still want to go to the pearls?
I think spirits is the place that we're going.
All right,
We need
then
the pearl.
we all go back to the spirits.
All right.
We should go
We
plan.
got
what
a
to do
much
this
better
time.
lead.
Choices.
At dawn, we plan.
Yeah. All right. It is really, by the time you get back to the spirit, it is really unpleasant out. It is like, this is definitely like a cold snap, even for Waterdeep's winters. It is cold. This snowstorm is very quickly approaching blizzard status. Like it's nasty and gnarly out.
This is going to be a stupid question
Okay.
that I probably won't be able to answer. Can I tell if perhaps it's not just normal weather?
You could make an intelligence arcana check to see if you think there is magic involved.
If you roll a 1, you think Winter Theron had something to do with it.
10.
No, you don't think so. I mean, it's definitely not nice weather, but I mean, you've had storms like this in Waterdeep before. Just because they're not common doesn't mean they're unnatural.
I mean, he made me paranoid. He talked about it like 7 times. I was really concerned that some snow monster's about to kill us, or Voragol.
If we get super cold and we just need a break to warm up, I will create bonfire.
Whoosh.
Boosh.
Yes, that's nice and warm. Doesn't also attract any attention at all. A bonfire in the middle of the street during a snowstorm.
Why don't you light the fireplace back at the fighting spirit?
Yeah.
All right, so you all get back to the fighting spirit with the Nimblewright in tow, map in hand, and I think that is where we're going to finish up for this week.
But my Reggie.
I know. But we are at 9:30, and that does seem like a good solid place with a new lead and some ends wrapped up. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. I hope that you all had as good a time as we did. thank you so much for joining us for Dragon Heist here on Variant Roles. Let's go around. Everybody tell us who you are, where we can find you on the interwebs, and what your favorite moment of this evening was. Let's start with Allison.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Letica05 and also with Red Hand Roleplay. We do a West Marches style game, and we should have a new episode, session 19, part 2, dropping this week, tonight, maybe later tonight or tomorrow, since Jonathan might be taking the night off. But you can, my favorite moment tonight, let's see, that was probably finally getting to fight. Not having missed the fight.
I know, I've been so excited for that all week.
And finally revealing the ancestral protectors. So.
Yeah, totally. I forgot that we were gonna reveal that this week. You and I talked about it a little bit.
Yeah,
nice.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, nice. Steven, how about you?
I'm Stephen Rowe. I am at Right Rowe on Twitter, and I would say that my favorite moment tonight was when trying to take something alive and specifically using an illusion, Rowan murdered something or caused or led to its death. And it's starting to get to him.
Yes, I imagine it is. I don't know what you mean. I didn't. Max.
I can be found at allmaxd20 on Twitter or on other things that happen here on Variant Roles. My favorite part of the night as a fellow Ancestral Guardian player, I'm just so happy to see one in action.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex Gasson. You can find me on the Twitters at Crit Charisma. You can also find me on Instagram at Hal Daggers. Favorite moment of tonight has to be Reggie. I was so happy. Like, Reggie has been my favorite NPC.
I know.
And it was just the funniest thing because I was like, oh, where's Reggie? And he looks at me and I was like, oh, it's Reggie.
Where is Reggie?
And Dan, you did so awesome. I loved it. You
Thank
brought
you.
Reggie to life and made me love him even more, which I didn't even think was possible.
Thank you very much.
Well, last but most certainly not least, our very special guest tonight, Mr. Dan Dillon.
Hi, I'm Dan Dillon. You can find me on Twitter at Dan_Dillon_1. Super creative, I know. I love chatting D&D on there. So come and talk about whatever. I am a freelance role-playing game designer. I run The World Tree Burns, which is a 5th edition live stream on the Encounter Roleplay Twitch network. It's set in the Midgard campaign setting. A lot of fun. A little different than Forgotten Realms. That's on Tuesdays at 8 Eastern. And I worked on Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So if you haven't picked it up yet, check it out.
You did.
My favorite moment. Oh God, there were so many. There was Rowan sticking his face in the giant tankard. There was. I was startled by Sill's immediate just bond with Reggie. That was unexpected and very cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. You should all absolutely check out Dan's show tomorrow night, because tomorrow is Tuesday. Really great on the Encounter Roleplay Network. If you have the chance also to go back and watch and or listen to season 1, the episodes from season 1 are available on the Tome Show podcast network as audio podcast if you prefer that. It's a really great show. I hope you all enjoyed Dan's Reggie, but his storytelling as a dungeon master is top notch. So go check that out if you all get a chance. And also, we don't have any Dragon Heist tomorrow night, so you need something to watch. So go watch them.
Yeah.
Speaking of more Dragon Heist, however, this week, small change for those of you who have been with us for a few weeks. The Autumn Crew is going to be on Wednesday night this week instead of Thursday night. We are the next couple of weeks. You might want to keep an ear and eye out for schedule changes, what with the holidays in the States coming up. So this week, the Autumn Crew will be on Wednesday night. As far as I'm aware, the other 2 crews will be at their normal times on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. So you can check out the other 3 teams that are playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist, follow along with their adventures, see how our various streams cross, as it were. I, of course, am Eugenio Vargas, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands from the Actual Play podcast, The Last Refuge. We also will be dropping episode 70, I think, on Wednesday. So you can find that wherever podcasts are found. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you haven't yet, click follow on the stream so that you can get notified when we are live. If you are able to subscribe, we would love for you to do that as well. You can check out our YouTube channel where we've got all the previous episodes. And just a couple of weeks ago, Variant Roles launched a Patreon, patreon.com/Variant Roles, where you can come support this programming and also future programming like this. Thank you so much, Dan Gaston from Variant Roles, for putting this together, and we hope to be able to have much more of this kind of thing in the future. All right, that's it for us tonight. Thanks so much. Come back on Wednesday night to watch The Autumn Crew, then Friday, then Saturday, and then we will see you next Monday night. Same time, same place. Happy gaming.
Bye.